So happy, healthy you. How did it all start? I thought I'd tell you the story on the company, how it formed, how the products came into existence, so you can understand a little bit about where we come from, what we stand, and what the brand has been built into today. So if you don't know me, my name's Jeff Butterworth. I'm a naturopath and been a naturopath for over 30 years now. And my co-founder, Lisa Curry, who you probably already know, ex-Olympian, mother, grandmother, we worked on a product called 30 Plus over 20 years ago now. And I formulated the product for another company, and Lisa was the celebrity or the face of that product. And that product called 30 Plus was really, really successful. And over time, it sort of ran its course, and the company then eventually, I think probably after about 10 years, they stopped manufacturing it. And Lisa and I met up. I was actually working in Dubai at the time, running an integrated medical center. And we met up and said, well, why don't we do our own version? Because Lisa still was suffering from different hormonal issues, because let's face it, a lot of the time they just don't disappear. So we worked on the concept, and originally the company was called Happy Hormones. It wasn't Happy Healthy You. And I formulated the product based on what I learned from 30 Plus, and I had exposure to a lot of women and their stories about that product and what worked and what didn't. And then I took my clinical experience from working with women from a very young practitioner and put it together into the original Happy Hormones. And this here is, I think Lisa might have one. It's one of only two left, probably worth some money now. This was the original graphics that was done, and the formula largely still the same. It has been tweaked over the years, and we did a production run of just 1,000 of these, 150 grams. And I built the website myself, and I created an online assessment, which to this day is largely the same in terms of the practicalities of it. And we launched, and it took a few months to strike a chord, but as Lisa started talking to women, we started to grow, and we did our next orders, and we redesigned the label, and this was the second edition of the label, which as you can see the similarities in the Happy Hormones logo that was there. We brought out a vegan because a lot of women were asking about that, and at this time they were all in powders. And then eventually we came out with we redesigned the logo to make it simpler, and we brought in the capsules. So that was an interesting journey. But one of the real defining moments, I suppose, in the brand was that Lisa appeared on, I think it was a current affair, talking about hormonal imbalances, and there was another nutritionist on there that they'd found and put together, and somehow or other they put together this concept of rushing women syndrome. And Lisa didn't know anything about this and drew a little bit of criticism from doctors saying there's no such thing as rushing women syndrome. But what happened is Lisa was talking about Happy Hormones, and pretty much overnight we got well over 5,000 requests to do the assessment. Now, that was great, except in these days, every single assessment I hand curated. So I took the results, and then I analyzed it, created a graph, a PDF report, and it probably took me 15, 20 minutes to each assessment, because we were only doing 10 to 15 a day. So that's what I used to do. And it allowed me to see what was happening with women's health and so forth. But this was a critical moment, and we had obviously a big demand for the product. But I had to email back individually each one of these women that had requested to take the assessment, and just say, sorry, I just cannot do it because it's just too much. And surprising the amount of hate that came back from women saying, this is, you can't do that, and I've requested this, and it was free, as it always has been. So anyway, that was a catalyst to automate the assessment, and we had the website then rebuilt because we weren't collecting anyone's data or anything like that at the time. So, and then we just grew from strength to strength, and we got all the different reviews started coming in, and I think we rebuilt another website as well. just refining things. And I then started to add products to that, because obviously Happy Hormones is great and it does works on a broad spectrum of hormonal imbalances, but we needed other things like Happy Greens, and we had a lot of requests about how do I lose weight, so we developed the Happy Weight range. We used to work with a company called More Life's Products, and they had a liver product that we used to sell quite a lot of, and so I reformulated that. It was a very strong product. It was probably a little bit too strong, so I reformulated, and that became Happy Liver, Happy Calm, which you all know well, and our latest sort of products now, which are just amazing, which you all know of, our MSP, Happy Period. So that the range grew organically, I suppose, for different demands, and we adjusted as a company. And we've always been a practitioner company, and we've only ever had naturopaths working for us, nurses on the chat lines and so forth. So we've developed many programs, and then we developed the skincare line, which has been a big hit as well. So it's been a really interesting journey. And here I sit now looking back. And I forgot about Happy Collagen, which is another product we did. And I've got some really exciting products in the pipeline as well. Later this year, we'll launch our Happy Digestion. The men's range is ready to go. That'll come out under a different name, but essentially still Happy Healthy You. And I've got a greens mushroom mix that's in the final stages of testing. I'm looking at an organic mineral supplement, fermented mineral supplement. So we're just growing and adding to that range as the requirements come and the demands. And as I grow as a practitioner, seeing different gaps of what we need to do in terms of for people's health and well-being. So we just launched the latest website, which has our subscription offer. And since the very first day that we launched this, we have not increased our prices by a cent. So obviously costs have increased significantly, particularly in the last few years. But as we've grown, our volumes have allowed us to maintain our pricing. But the subscription is something that will allow us to maintain our prices. If you love the brand, it just helps us to lock in the revenue to allow us to order larger amounts, and it just really helps the business. And I think we can maintain our prices for the foreseeable future. But if you want to help the brand, you love the brand, I encourage you to take up a subscription, would be great. So that's a little bit of our story. Obviously, there's been lots of ups and downs across that time. We transitioned just from a food supplement into a TGA supplement. I remember that was quite a traumatic time in the business, because we had to really change everything. We had to change manufacturers, and that's when the capsules came online. But obviously we needed to do that. And lots of competitors have come into that space since then, and that's fine. These days it becomes harder and harder because of a lot of these companies are just purely marketing focused and tell a lot of stories without a lot of substance behind them. We're always finding ladies come and say, I took this or this product and it didn't work. And eventually they come to us and they find us and they stay with us. But, just be wary of what you're told out there. If you're seeing stories that, I lost my menopausal belly in 9 days and my symptoms disappeared, it's basically rubbish. And just save your money and focus on our programs, which, we say it takes 3 months, because it's taken many, many years to get to this point. We're very much rooted in these naturopathic traditions of changing the fundamental physiology of what's occurring, rather than these quick fix that essentially don't work. And that's why 80% of our business is repeat customers. Can you believe that? And I guarantee none of our competitors are even close to that amount. So again, that's why the subscription helps us to service our regular customers. So there's a little bit about our story. I hope it helps to give context to what we do. And thank you to everyone that has supported the brand over that time. I know there's a lot of ladies that have literally started with us from this and have been with us many, many years. We've got customers that have over 30 to 40 orders with us and have spent thousands and thousands of dollars with us over the years. And they're the ones that you will often see in our community just being really positive advocates, because they know to give it time, they implement what all our advice is. And there's no other company out there, practitioner company, that has so much information support in our groups. 7 days a week, 365 days a year, you can access a naturopath and ask some questions. And it's a system. What we do, it's what I took is everything that I knew from practicing as a naturopath, what I knew from large scale supplements earlier and put that together to produce a system that essentially what you get from a naturopath if you go and see them, but you get more than that because you have our experience dealing with hundreds of thousands of women. And, to this date, we've done over 1 million assessments online now and helped women identify that what the degree of hormonal balance is there now. So again, thanks to all our loyal customers. We really appreciate it. And we hope we can continue to service your health needs in the many, many years to come.